Hey, what's going on, everybody? I'm here with Bill Riley, the branch manager of Caliber Home Loans.
Yep.
This man actually helped me buy my house about 4 or 5 years ago, and he has still been hustling, grinding ever since. Bill, what's going on, man? How you doing today?
I'm good. I'm 42, but my insides are like 83.
Only thing that matters is how you feel, right?
I don't know.
That's it.
I don't know. I feel like I don't look that old, but my insides are a little rough after going through the last few months, especially. So.
It's been crazy, my man. So what are we going to be talking about today?
I figured today we just talk a little bit about the corona. Like I'm almost tired of saying the word. I wish I could come up with a word that means corona.
Yeah,
that
something
corona.
something that doesn't have a bad vibe in your mind with it.
I just want to talk about how things have been affected. People have seen stuff on Facebook. People have made videos.
Yeah, man.
I've seen them. I've seen the memes. I've seen all the talk about all this stuff. And I just figured it was worth coming on and maybe talking a little bit more detail. We are middle of May, so we're 2 months into this thing.
Yep.
And so some things are the same, some things are different, but it's just a good refresher. But dude, look, man.
Yeah.
I'm pointing.
Do you tell us about location? Where are we at right now?
Well, where are we at on the green screen?
Tell us about your new location.
I moved my office down to the Cohatch. Used to be Elderly United, right next to the Heritage Center. It's amazing, you guys. I can't even. People that have seen it, I've done some tours. That people are just amazed at what they've done down there. And the restaurants are about to start open. I think June 1st is the actual open for all of them. I think the pizza joint might be opening here sooner.
All
than
this
the rest.
back here behind us is going to be filled with awesome food, great people, lots of fun, lots of exciting stuff in Springfield. So,
and I'm telling you right now that when it opens, and the bar's open, and the brewery's open, everything's open.
it's
You
the
come
spot.
find me.
It's the
I will
spot.
buy you a drink. I got you. I got some cool stuff coming on, some cool promotions to get you down there. But it's awesome.
So when Bill says his office, he really means his offices. He's got like
Offices,
how many 5 or 6 down there?
Five. We have
5
five
offices.
spaces.
Yeah.
Yep. And it's cool.
So Caliber is planted
We are
firmly in the Cohatch, downtown Springfield.
Yeah, we are excited to support downtown, and we couldn't have picked a better place.
Yeah.
We decided to move there before it became what it is. There was a vision, and so it's super cool to see it come together because it is outstanding. You guys are going to love it down there.
Yep.
You're
So
gonna love
you heard it. You know, if you want to come down and check out the Cohatch,
Yeah.
you heard it. Bill's going to buy you lunch.
I
You
got
heard that?
you.
He's got you.
Whoa, drink. Well, we'll
drink.
see. We'll
He's gonna
see.
buy
We'll
drink
see.
and a lunch. You
Yeah,
got 2
maybe
for 1 there.
Maybe
Good deal.
Maybe for sure.
So I wanted to have a conversation today with Bill because, like I shared with you when we first started, Bill helped me buy my home in 2016. And back then, like, I was a first-time home buyer.
Yep.
I had no clue about what I was doing.
didn't.
Right? The
Right.
bank turned me down.
Right.
I had a friend that I knew. He said, "Man, I just got a house from Caliber," and he showed me the pictures. I'm like, "Give me this dude's name. What is this dude, Caliber?" And I found out that his office was literally right around the corner from where I live. So I hopped on his website, applied, and literally popped into his office and walked out with a pre-approval letter. And I was like, "Holy crap! I can't believe I'm about to buy a house." You know?
It's a little different world. No offense to my banker friends, a little different world on the mortgage lending side as far as kind of the pace of play, the speed.
Yep.
But
So what's changed, Bill? Like for a first-time home buyer, like what's changed?
a lot has changed. The biggest, I'll just cover a couple of the biggest things, right? There's a lot I can get detail. I can talk about this for hours. I'm a mortgage nerd. I mean, there's so many little details, but let's just go over the general stuff. The credit scoring was the biggest thing that changed. The credit score, we used to go down to 580. We've pushed up to 620. So that eliminated, we probably 10 to 20% of our business was people under 620 getting them done. So we lost a lot of business like that, and we lost the ability to help people. I've gotten people call me that I'm like, man, if you would have called me 2 months ago, but who knew? Who knew what was coming?
So is that strictly first-time home buyers? Is that across the board?
It's across the board. It's for the first-time home buyers. There's really not. There's some first-time home buyer grants. You got to have a higher credit score in 620. You had to have a higher credit score in 620 before. But there's just loans that are geared towards first-time home buyers, like FHA loans. You put a little less money down. Most first-time home buyers don't have a huge chunk of money down. But the big thing is the 620. So you have to have a minimum of a 620 score. That was a huge change. And I feel bad for a lot of people because, excuse me, people that were pre-approved 2 months ago, with say a 605, and they call me and say, "Hey, I found a house." I'm like, "Whoa, well, 3 weeks ago this changed or whatever." So it's been tough.
A rough conversation.
Yeah,
to
it's
have
tough,
right there.
man. And people have been upset, and there's nothing we can do. Most lenders aren't going below 620.
Yep.
I can only speak for Caliber, but I know there's some lenders that have actually gone up even higher to protect themselves. And the whole reason for that is risk, right? Mm-hmm. There's so many people that are going into forbearance, which is costing lenders money. Yep. There's people that are losing their jobs, and that section of the credit score presents enough risk to where they're like, you know what, right now we're gonna hit the pause button on going below the score. So, and that's what credit is, right? Credit is a risk score. If you have a 590 versus a 700 on paper, at least, and I know bad things happen to people, right?
Yep.
But on paper, this person with this higher score is more likely to make their house payment than this. And so that's where it gets they had to draw the line somewhere.
Yeah, absolutely. So there's a lot has changed. That's the simple answer, right?
That's the simple answer.
So let me ask you this. So like I said, and I remember when I bought my house, I'm like, oh yes, I'm going to be here forever. I'm going to be here for a long time. And then here I am a few years later, a couple more kids, couple more life responsibilities. And then, so now I'm thinking about what's it going to be like if I have to move again. So God forbid if my wife sees this video and I say, I'm thinking about moving, right?
Yeah, you just spoke that into existence.
Man, it's crazy. But so if I'm thinking about moving, right? And you're telling me all this stuff's changing with the credit scores and all that, and like I'm somebody like I have 2 small businesses that I run now, so I'm not employed anywhere anymore.
Right.
So how has my positioning or the position that I'm in right now affected me to buy a new house?
Well, first of all, you have to be self-employed 2 years. So let's just assume.
Did you hear that, Brittany?
Yeah,
2 years.
2 years. You got to wait, Brittany. Sorry. So let's just assume you've been doing this 2 years.
Okay.
So you're like, hey, Bill, 2 years from now, hey, and let's say you've been in it 2 years now. I'm going to say 2 years from now. Hopefully we're not in the middle of all this crap in 2 years. Anyway, you're 2 years in. Some of the employment stuff has changed.
Okay.
Not just for self-employed people, but W-2 people as well. So, for example, self-employed people, we're requiring you to have more money in the bank, more reserves, or we have to cut your income. And the reason we got to cut your income,
it's a rough place.
Yeah, if you make, let's say, $100,000 a year in this kind of economy and market, the underwriters are assuming, and the investors and everybody else, that, hey, there's going to be a downtick in your business. Now, regardless if you're affected by it or not.
How long or how,
The problem with the mortgage business in general is there's general assumptions made about everybody. Everybody's put in these buckets, and it really kind of stinks, to be honest with you, because someone who's running a good business hasn't been affected by the pandemic.
Right.
Why would we cut your income? I'm not affected by it. But they're assuming the economy's going down.
Yeah, it's
people
affecting
are filing
everybody.
unemployment. So every self-employed person has to be losing money right now, which is not true.
Yep.
But during this time, we're either going to verify you have assets, typically about 12 months reserves of your house payment, or we got to cut your income by about 20-25% and qualify you off that. So you either show you have money that your business. So I guess the reserve aspect of it is proving your business is still functioning.
Yep.
If you can't prove that, but then again, a lot of self-employed people are dipping.
Sounds
into
like I now have it. I now have a 2-year plan.
You
right?
have to have a 2-year plan.
2 years or a year of reserves of mortgage payment, and then have 2 years of income.
And hopefully this goes away. And what we're being told is that this is hopefully temporary.
Yep.
I think in the next few months, hopefully everything gets back to normal. But for now, this is our reality, and this is why I lose sleep at night.
We all want it to be temporary, but I think a lot of this is the new normal.
And they might incorporate some of these rules going forward, just not as extreme.
Right.
Because obviously, if it took a virus to get us here, that's a big deal, but it's like that quick.
Yep.
Look how we went. Now,
absolutely.
W-2 people, we're having issues, people getting their hours cut. So you come to me making 40 hours a week, we get an updated pay stub.
On your pay stubs for the past 3 months that are full time.
Yeah, you're 35 hours a week all of a sudden. Oh, that's a red flag. Wait a minute.
Yeah.
Is the business lowering the hours? So W-2 people are being looked at harder.
Man.
Verifications of employment.
Yeah, that's rough.
We used to do them 10 days before closing. So you know what?
Do them the day of now?
3 days before.
3 days before.
And then there's a form signed at closing, and then there's another form signed right before closing because people were losing their jobs between that 10-day period.
Yep.
Some lenders are doing it a day of. They won't close unless they verify employment the day of, because even 3 days before doesn't mean that you didn't get laid off in the 2 days before. So it's insane.
So let me ask you this: Are people upset with? Are people getting mad at you because of these regulations?
I'm gonna be honest with you. I think everybody always gets mad at me.
You hear it all, don't you?
Lenders in general. I mean, it's tough. We're in a very tough position where we have to follow these guidelines, and we're the ones enforcing it on the front line.
Yep.
But I don't think people are getting mad. I think you need to have a lender, whoever that may be, that is going to be upfront and honest with your customer and understands the guidelines.
Yep.
It's real easy to say, hey, you're approved, and then you're 3 weeks in, and the lender says, wait a minute, I didn't see that. So you really need someone who's going to pay attention to those details, especially when it's changing so quick. They know what they're doing.
And from my own experience, what I thought was really cool, rather than, I have a bank, and I could have banked with my bank from my house, but like having somebody that was a local dude, right, that went to same high, that grew up in the neck of like a local guy, like where I could literally, and I don't know if you still do this today, but I would just show up at his office. I'm like, is Bill here? Because my loan process was not easy for me. There was lots of ups and downs and papers and stuff like that, but just having a real person to talk to, man, I think.
Or even vent to.
Good stuff.
I got thick skin. I've been doing this a long time. People get mad, but then when you explain it, if you explain it to people, they're like, oh, I get it.
Yeah.
The hardest part right now is when people are getting laid off or they're getting furloughed and it's close to closing. And that's not their fault. That's not my fault. It's just a crappy situation. You got sellers that are mad. Realtors get a little bit annoyed. It's just these are things we can't prevent.
We got Lindsay said, good morning.
What's
good morning,
up, Lindsay?
How you doing?
What's up, Wolf?
We know she's out hustling somewhere, huh?
Lindsay is definitely hustling, and so is Wolf.
Rob Wolf.
Me and Rob go way back.
USA. He's a very proud American. I bet. Is he a Trump supporter?
I don't know.
Rob, are you 2020 Trump? Give us a comment.
I've known Rob Wolf a long time. Rob is good people. He's one of those old school loan officers that you don't see that much anymore. There's a group of us that I think have been doing it 20, 25 years that are kind of in our prime. Rob's a little older though. I'm gonna be honest. I mean, he's older. Yeah. I'm just gonna say that.
So let me ask you this, Bill. Let's say, and I know there's been, I watch the news, so the news talks a lot like, oh, well, banks are helping borrowers with forbearance, right? If you can't pay your bills, just give us a call and we'll put you in forbearance. And so like, here's, in my position, I'm still able to pay my bills.
Yeah.
Like, I'm okay. But there's a part of me that's like, I could get away with this?
Yeah.
How long can I get away with it?
Yeah.
So what are the pros and cons of forbearance and all that?
Here's the deal on forbearance. You really don't want to ask for help unless you absolutely need it, right? So, there's been, like I said, there's been a lot of information out there, and everybody's probably heard some of this stuff. But just from my opinion, it's not a mortgage vacation. You've seen that term before. I've seen that in some memes. Kelly just said I'm old. I am older than Kelly. Anyway.
And that makes you old, then.
Yeah,
you are old.
But here's the deal. It's not a vacation. There is no guarantee that borrowers will have the ability to probably tack it on the end of their loan,
right,
or work out some kind of payment plan. More than likely, okay? But there's no guarantee of that.
Right.
So some people might not qualify for that. Then you got to pay it back. It could affect your ability to purchase or refinance in the future. I mean, if you're sitting on, say, a 5% interest rate, and you're like, oh, I want to refi, but you just went into forbearance a month ago, you cannot do anything when you're in forbearance. It's like everything's kind of frozen until you get out of it. So that can have implications in the future. And my thing is, if you need it, do it.
Yep.
Do not lose your house. I mean, I can't say this. I'm looking straight. I don't know who's listening to this, but do not lose your house.
Do not lose your house.
But also, don't do it if you have the ability to figure it out through a savings account, 401k, maybe a relative helping you out. Don't put yourself in a position, but do not lose your house.
You're getting comments on your haircut, Bill.
I'm telling you, man, I went in last week.
You get some comments. Curtis Muma says, yeah, you see a little gray in that beard?
Yeah, well, that's because of Curtis Muma.
That's the Corona beard right there.
That's the Corona beard, and that's the Muma beard.
That's the stress right there.
So, listen, forbearance.
It sounds like it has
its
pros and its cons.
Exactly.
Right?
And
if you need it, use it wisely. But for somebody like myself who still has the ability to pay my mortgage, just because that little thought crosses my mind, like, ooh, I could not pay a couple months of mortgage and go on a vacation. That doesn't sound like a good idea.
And forbearance is costing lenders money. And the threat of forbearance is causing some of these guideline changes.
And the trickle effect of that.
Yeah, so now all of a sudden you got a 620 score because lenders are scared you're not going to make your house payment and we have to pay it for you. So, and the other thing is if you're refinancing your house right now, if you're in the middle, I don't care what lender you're working with, do not go into forbearance during that process because once they find that out, and they will because we verify everything to the T now, I mean, worse than it was before, they will find out and that refinance will not go through. So, if you're in the middle of it, don't do it. If you're thinking about it, don't do it. Unless you absolutely have to.
Yep. So there it is. That's the forbearance talk right there. And, and I know there's a lot of people who think like me, who think, how can I get under the radar? How can I say, it's almost like that something for nothing mentality that a lot of people struggle with. How can I get away with something and still protect myself? So it doesn't really sound like a great idea.
Well, unless Do not lose your house. I'll say it again. Do not lose your house or get behind. If you have to use it, use it. It's there for a purpose.
Absolutely. So let me ask you, Bill. Someone's got that 620, right? They got the income. They're still working, right?
Yep.
Tell me a little bit about like some down payment, some options. What's changed? What's working right now?
Listen, there's low down payment. There's no down payment. I mean, OFA, the OFA grant through the state of Ohio is a good one. USDA is a good one. Those are still around. It's just those are higher risk, so they're going to be harder and harder to get done. So even though there are low down payment options, 620 technically you could put down 3.5% and get it done. That doesn't mean that you're going to get approved with 3.5% down, because 620, you got to remember, 580 was kind of the bottom of the barrel. Now 620, everything's been shifted. So the old 620 is now the 660, and 620 still wasn't super easy to get done before. So now you're at 620 and you think, oh, I'm good. Well, then all of a sudden you put in that 3.5%, and maybe you don't have enough money in reserves, and the system says no, we don't want it. And one of the things we've been handcuffed on, at least at Caliber, is manual underwrites. We used to be able to say, hey, you got a 620? Okay, the system doesn't like it, but I know an underwriter will sign off on it. Well, they took that away. Now you got to have a 680. So if you don't get an automated system, we're dealing with a computer system to approve you between 620 and 679, you're not getting approved.
Man.
And before, we would do manual underwrites down to 580. So an underwriter would say, oh, okay, we see you have a fight. The system doesn't like you, but you know what? I see you have money in the bank. Oh, you've been on your job a while, right? I'll sign off on this. Doesn't happen anymore. So it's just the trickle down effect.
Scott Green says, why is Friends on pause in the background? I am waiting to see what happens.
Is he looking at the?
I think he's asking about where we
Friends
at, what
on
we're
the
doing.
TV in the background of the.
Oh yeah, man, Scott, he's an observant guy.
I don't know if he's observant or just freaking
He's just
weird.
looking for something, isn't he?
Yeah, what's he doing?
Yeah, Scott, we are, Bill, again, for wrapping up, tell folks where you're at, like what you're excited about, like what are, like, where are we at? What's going on?
I am super. First of all, let's talk about positives.
Yes.
I want to talk about that real quick because we just went through some negative stuff, and I don't even want to. The C word's just. The Rona is just on my nerves at this point.
Yeah. It's on everyone's
interest
nerves.
rates are low. People are still buying houses. They need houses for sale. If you're looking to list a house, it's a great time. I know the inventory's low. There's multiple offers going on in properties.
Houses are going like that.
People are saving a ton of money on refinances. People are dropping their terms from 30 to 20 to 15, keeping the same payment. I mean, rates were anywhere from 4 to 5% over the last couple of years. So if you haven't refinanced, you need to reach out to somebody. I mean, I'm more than happy to help, or whoever your lender is, whatever. So that's some positive stuff.
When's the Cohatch open house? Chrissy says she's waiting for the Cohatch open house. She can't wait.
Here's the deal. I would have it tomorrow.
Yeah.
But the problem is I'm trying to pack 100 people in there.
Can't do it.
And I can't do it.
Can't do
so
it.
I don't know if I need to do people need to sign up for sections to show up or something. I don't know. But it's probably going to be this fall, and I'm going to have a big blowout. This is a true story. I was going to get Michael Bolton to come to my open house. He was going to be at the Kuss Center in May.
Wow.
This month. I think it probably got canceled. I wanted Michael Bolton to burst through them front doors singing. Okay? And I was going to try to figure out how I can get him over there, and that got blown out of the water. So we missed Michael Bolton. Worst case, I was going to give away some free tickets. So Michael Bolton's shot. So we're gonna see what's going on this fall. And, if anybody wants to come down, the cafeteria or it's not the cafeteria. It makes it sound cheap. The food court, that sounds cheap. I don't even know what to call it. You guys just got to see it.
We need a luxurious name.
I'm telling you. All I know is when I'm walking through the market bar and the bartender's like, hey, and I'm like, oh, now I know the bartender by his first name. That's scary. I mean, that bar is 30 feet away from me. So if you guys want a drink, you're having a bad day, I don't care if you don't know me. Stop in, ask for me. I'll come see you. I'll buy you a drink. I'm super excited about being downtown. I cannot wait for the summer when the patio opens.
Yep.
And
we're a couple weeks out.
Yeah,
out.
Once all this goes away, it's going to be great. Oh, when Bill loves the mortgage. Jeez, he peeds.
I don't know the backstory on that.
What's up, Marcus? Marcus came down yesterday.
Yeah, was that who was down there talking to you?
Marcus and Anya came down, and Wolf, I would love to get Lionel Richie, man. I got a dog named Lionel Richie now.
Everybody has a Lionel Richie connection.
If I get Lionel Richie at the Cohatch, my life is complete. But Anya and Marcus came down there, and they were just like, wow, this is just not, I mean, I don't know if it's not what they thought, but it's nice.
If you haven't been inside of the Cohatch building, you can't even imagine
what they've done.
the awesomeness that's
quality.
happening down there. Like it is, and the cool thing is like I helped a couple guys get jobs like tearing down the old United Center, and I walked in there with Pat Williams was down there tearing stuff apart, and I seen I'm like, good God, you guys, this is like this doesn't, but now it's like it's a whole different place.
I'm telling you. You guys come to Springfield. If you're not from Springfield, you text me or call me or show up and say, hey, is Bill here? If I'm there, I will buy you a drink and I will show you this place. It is awesome.
And I don't drink, but if you come down there and want to see me, hey, I might buy you lunch, maybe. I don't know. Don't quote me on that. But, hey, Scott Green, can I get an invite? Yeah, come on down. I gave you an invite yesterday. You didn't show up. Or the day before.
Jamie Phillips is my buddy. And Wolf on there. He's a watch guy. And
G-Shock.
I love my G-Shock, all right? This thing will get through anything. It's lightweight. It's really not the most fancy, but I feel like I could buy 10 of them for the watches those guys buy, probably 30 of them actually. So, but anyway.
Well, Bill, we've wrapped on here for 20 minutes now. I feel like we've delivered a lot of value for folks. You've definitely gave me a game plan of my 2-year strategy to get my my wife where she wants to be in the household wise. So, got a plan. I think that you're always available.
I'm pretty much always available. I'm not perfect. I'm not going to lie. I'm tired. I'm wore out. All of us are. But I do my very best to get back to people. And I think, I work a lot of long hours. Yeah. I got a lot of good people working for me. Shout out to CP, Tiffany, Alicia down at the Cohatch. I don't know why I leaned forward to say that, but I felt like that's kind of what you do. But we got a great team of people, great group of loan officers, and we love helping you guys. So
cool. Good deal. All right, folks, thanks for tuning in. There will be more to come from the Cohatch building. We are going to be live streaming like crazy down here. So
I kind of want to get a Cohatch podcast going that I'm on. I want to be a part of it.
Yeah,
I want my own show.
There it is.
We'll come up with it. I want my own show.
Caliber and Corona with Bill.
Caliber and Corona. Oh, man. We got to
get rid of the Corona. We got
to get rid of the Corona.
Something with Bill. Something with Bill and Lionel. We'll have to come up with something Bill and Lionel like that. Maybe we could get it big enough. Lionel will come get on there with you.
It's not weird. I like Lionel, though.
Have a good day, folks. Thanks for tuning in. Talk to you next time.